All right, we're so excited about our volleyball team, one win away from the Final Four. So we play here tomorrow at 5 o'clock against Creighton. There'll be shuttles from Memorial to Rupp, so you can come do both. Deb is personally guaranteeing anybody that buys a ticket to the volleyball match gets into Rupp for free. That's true, right, Deb? And we're cheering for our girls. The great thing about the girls is they're finishing their matches in like 30 minutes. It's unbelievable. So you have time to probably go to the volleyball game, have dinner, and then come Kentucky and Indianapolis. It'll be great. All right, fire away with questions, guys. And what the girls are doing is amazing. I mean, what Coach Skinner is doing is unprecedented, maybe in the history of volleyball. It's incredible. So, and these girls are battled like crazy. It's awesome. Okay, fire away.
We didn't get to talk about Jalen and Cam after the game, specifically Tuesday. Just starting with Cam, I know you talked about him not having that consistent, I guess, intensity. Is that kind of what led to him not playing at all in the first half there?
Yeah, I mean, we're searching for sure, trying to find good answers. We're trying to find a little bit of minute continuity, and just exploring a little bit. I thought Cam was great in the second half. He had his best practice that he's had since he's been here. Yesterday, he was awesome. He was so forceful downhill. I think he's got a huge upside. For us to be great, he's going to have to be really good. So, and he's working hard to grow.
And then with Jalen, I think people were surprised to see him not play, but then come in the second half.
Yeah, I thought Jalen was really good. You know, he is just a playmaking guy. Like, it's in his DNA. Like, he's got a point guard vibe to him that is unique on our roster. That's really important, and we're trying to, we're dealing with a lot of stuff with J-Lo. His health is always going to be a major part of this, and but I thought he we tried to keep his minutes a little bit restricted. I thought he was terrific.
Is he? I don't know if you plan to start him when he's close to 100%, but is he in a position to maybe start tomorrow night or in the near future, or is it going to be?
I think for sure, I'm guessing we're going to have a little revolving door in who starts and who doesn't. It's coach speak, but it's really true. I don't really care that much who starts. I care who plays great. And so we could change matchups based. We've tweaked up lineup a bunch based on health, based on injury, based on performance, and we'll probably keep doing that.
Last game, you sent a pretty clear message to BG. Do you feel like that's been received within this week?
Well, I don't know about messaging, but I do know that BG after practice, at the end of practice, we had a conditioning session. He won every sprint. It was awesome. One of the things that's really incredible, that's such an incredible privilege as a coach, is that you get to watch the day-to-day growth of these kids. And it's hard. Growing is hard, and growing is ugly. But it's worth it, and so it's pretty inspiring. So I just was proud of the way he rolled into practice yesterday, and his commitment, his intensity, and his care, and his response. Those things are really important, and it's got to translate into in-game performance. But I was proud of him yesterday.
Coach, how did Lamar Wilkerson get his 44 points when you watched on the film? Was there anything in particular he was doing? I guess, how were you preparing for him?
Yeah, he made every shot, and he got him out of his hands quick. He was really good. They scored 113 points in a game that actually didn't have incredible a tempo to it. But I think they're doing an unbelievable job with how they're playing offense right now. They're really explosive. They have really talented guys, and they're really leaning the skill set they have. And he had been shooting poorly actually for 4 or 5 games. I think he was down in the low 20s percentage-wise in his previous 5 games before that. And he had an eruption that was pretty significant. He played a great game.
Kind of sticking with Lamar for a second, obviously you got to know him a little bit during the transfer portal recruitment process in the spring. What do you still remember about him as a person, and kind of what stuck out to you on film from Sam Houston that made you so interested in him?
Yeah, well, we love shooters. We love guys that make shots, and he's made a career of doing that. He's got a toughness to him that's pretty great. I love him as a kid. Like he's actually a great young man. So he's all the good things. He's he earned his way. He worked his way up to get to where he is right now, and he's a terrific player.
What have you seen from the early stages of Jaden with full contact, and is it safe to say he's kind of game by game basis at this stage?
Yeah, JQ is, yesterday was a really significantly special day because we actually had it was a half court segment, and it was semi-controlled contact, but for the first time ever, including the summer, we had all of our guys on the practice floor. It was the first time ever, so that was pretty exciting for us. And JQ has got a tremendous skill set. There's going to be a massive learning curve for him to try and catch up, but he's making incredible progress. Like what Randy and B. Wells have done with him is probably going to be writing medical articles about it. With his recovery and his return to play, all the while being insanely cautious with how we do it. But his progress has been immense. He's one of the top shot blockers in the country last year. He's got a really unique physicality where he still can grow it. He could actually get more physical. We had some possessions yesterday where it was a competitive day and where guys were racing in trying to make a play at the rim and JQ came out of nowhere and kind of sent it. There's still marks on the wall from him blocking shots, and even our guys that were shooting were kind of like, whoa, he's a really special skill set. He's a great young man, and we're gonna have to. I'm so excited about here in the next month or so having an opportunity to incorporate him into our playing, our games.
Do you have a rough timeline for him? Is there a calendar month?
Well, this is it now. This is it. Like, we're going to try and, we're at the stages where he's not a full practice guy yet, but he's inching his way closer and closer to it. Yesterday was the first time he actually crossed half court with us. And it was in very limited reps. It was controlled. We actually stopped the drills short of where we normally go. But he actually did, cross half court, which is another. I mean, he's had so many markers along the way, but that's another big one, and he responded really well. And so we're hoping that it's we're now into the days and weeks more than we are the months, which is exciting.
Just one last thing about Jaden before we get off the subject. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of expectations for him when he gets healthy and coming into the lineup. How do you manage those or temper those to a realistic standpoint, both with the fan base and maybe even with himself because he's been out for so long?
We don't. I'm not in the business of temporary expectations. We go face the truth of it, right? And so, the expectations are super high. He's really, really talented, and it's also gonna be a huge, on-ramp for him where he's just gonna have to. He's got so much he has to learn about us, and so there's gonna be super messy moments. There's gonna be great moments, but it's not tempering expectations. It's just he's a really talented player that's gonna kind of find his way into playing for us, and he's gonna have great moments and bad moments. It's just the truth, no tempering. But we got big expectations for him, like we do everybody on our team.
You said everybody was back, so it means Mo practiced.
Mo was on the court for a minute yesterday. It was a miracle.
So what?
It was like a Christmas miracle. What are we, December 11th? December 11th yesterday, is that true? So yesterday was December 11th, and I think, when is it? St. Nick's Day. St. Nick's Day, where you put your boots out in front of the house. I think it's like the 7th or something. It was somewhere close there. I don't know what it was, but it was fun. It was like, wow, we actually have. It was fun. So, a bunch of guys limited, but something. So Mo, I think he responded pretty well yesterday. We'll see how it goes today. He's crazy rusty, and as you could imagine, but he's on the road to recovery.
Mark, I know you left the door open for him tomorrow night.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. I mean, he certainly could help us, but.
Mark, I was just going to ask, I know you mentioned this a few weeks ago, you guys were sort of sorting out what you're maybe going to do with Braden about redshirting or not. Are you any closer to figuring out yes or no on him?
The answer is no, and it's hard. Listen, I mean, rational, I love, all of our decisions, all the decisions that reach my desk, very rational people could make opposing arguments. And so, BH he's getting so much better every day. And there's certainly space where he could help us. You never know how guys are going to be when the lights are on and when they're in limited minutes and all the things. And it's also in college basketball right now, it's really expensive to burn a year or two. And so, you know, we're just going to keep dancing. And there's, you know, the one thing I know is once we put them out on the court, it's over, right? There's no turning back. If we put him, you know, so there's that fear if you put him out on the court for 3 minutes and he never plays again, and you're like, man, coach, you just burned. And he's all in, by the way, but I feel the responsibility about it. I just burned his year, and there wasn't a ton of payoff. I'm very sensitive. I want to make sure that we take care of him. He's a special talent. He's got a huge future, so we got to do it right.
You talk so much about like wanting to expand the schedule. I mean, is that something else you're like, why does football get 4 games for guys, and college basketball, like I said, you burn the red shirt the second he gets on the court?
Yeah, listen. I mean, I'm on the side of this where I'd just like to make it 5 for 5. Let's just go 5 for 5 and just get rid of all the exceptions, all the arguments, all the negotiations, all the stuff, and just be like, hey, you got 5 years to play 5 years, or for that matter, just go 4 for 4, like, and just let it be. It just, once we get in the exceptions game, it just gets so crazy complicated, and everybody's making an argument about every single thing, and I just think. You know, I think the 5 for 5 space would feel good to me. 4 for 4 space, but in the meantime, like we'll just do what we have and do the best. But you know, I'm always going to advocate for more games, more freedom. And
Speaking of that,
I'm very laissez-faire that way.
if everybody once
My econ teacher would be so proud of me that I still remember that term.
once everybody does get healthy, you've got, even if Braden doesn't play, you've got
Yep.
12 guys.
Yep.
Are you closer to shortening that rotation? I wouldn't think you'd want 12.
I think as we get closer, you know, and hopefully we can stick around that number, then it's going to be like you eat what you kill, right? That would be the ideal. That's probably where we need to go right now. That's what the game is telling us right now, and it's what our personality as a team is telling us right now, and so we'll see if we can actually get there. You know, we have a bunch of tasks at hand that we're working on, but that would ultimately be, that's a really, come on, man, this is sports. That's what it's supposed to be. And so I would love to get there. It was kind of the plan going in, and we've had all kind of weirdness in the first 6 weeks, but I would love to get there. And I think it would be great for this team. I think that this team, you know, guys, listen, you know, we you know, last year we won more games against top 15 ranked opponents than anybody has in the history of college basketball, right? And this year we're 0-4 against top 15 teams, and we haven't started out the way we want to. But I'm telling you guys, like we got a lot in the hopper. We just have to figure out how to get it out on the playing court, and that would be one space where the original plan was kind of live in that space. We haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I would love to get there, and I'd love to experiment on that for sure.
Mark, you were obviously pretty disappointed with your team's defensive effort from Tuesday night, and looking at Indiana, that's a team that likes to put up a lot of three-pointers, makes them at a high volume. Just how do you assess your ball screen defense and kind of the way that you can match up with them, hopefully in an improvement? From your
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. It's always when you're just like, we're learning ourselves right now. It's unfortunate that we're so late in the early part of the season that we're learning ourselves, but that's just where we are for any number of reasons. And when you do that, you kind of you lose different ways. Like we lost a very different way against Gonzaga than we did, you know, against North Carolina. And in Gonzaga, it was, you know, their bigs almost put their starting 4 and 5 almost put 40 on us, right? And so it wasn't so much ball screen defense or perimeter defense as it was just us managing the size and physicality in the glass and all those things in this game. And it's what Gonzaga does. It's actually what they do, right? This team is different. This Indiana team is they bring two players together in every different conceivable way. Okay, so they're a huge slip team. They're a huge like push screen team. They'll set incredibly violent physical screens. You know, they'll bring a third player together and kind of trick it up. They'll go text where it's working a text to a live ball re-screen stuff. You know, they'll set screens underneath to kind of slip with you, and you know, they'll set a lot of guard-to-guard screens. And so they're bringing two players together a lot to kind of manufacture some confusion. They do it really, really well. So they're going to test everybody they play this year. They're going to really test their ability to communicate on the fly, to make real physical, forceful decisions on the fly. based on a set of principles, and it's a new challenge for us. We haven't faced a team that attacks the game like this, and so it's going to be a great challenge for our guys.
Is that third defender in the ball screen defense, is that more lack of awareness or reaction or lack of communication? What's the problem?
It's all of it. It's like all the things. It's all of it. It's awareness and positioning early in the possession. It's faith. It's just trust in the idea, man, if I go leave myself so naked to go make a play on this ball, I might be supported by rotations behind me, which sometimes it's impossible to get that rotation. So it's all those things. It's habits and default settings and all the things. And it's something that every team that tries to guard the way we do, works on, and we'll just get better and better.
Are you seeing, is that working in practice and not working in games, or is it still working in practice?
Well, again, like our ball screen defense, the last couple games has been really solid, right? And so it is like our numbers are so much better than they were last year. And so that hasn't been the number one issue in the last 10 days. But it's a certain place we need to keep getting better at.
Mark, you're such a historian of the game. This used to be an annual rivalry.
Yep.
It's been 15 years since IU came here and played again. How much are you looking forward to just being part of that renewing this rivalry?
I love this game. I love all these games. I mean, I love them all. And this is this is Indiana, Kentucky. I'll tell you what they're doing over there right now is actually awesome, because when you guys watch them play, you're going to feel very much like Bob Knight, Indiana, in the sense of like they're playing with unbelievable movement and motion and with high IQ. And so even that part of the style of play that they're playing at right now is pretty inspiring. And it just harkens back to a great tenure in Indiana basketball. And I love the game. I have such great memories of playing in these games, and I like it. I like it for us. I like it for fans. I like it for Indiana. I think it's a great game.
You were speaking about Braden earlier and the possibility of his redshirt. I know you obviously previously announced that Reese is planning to redshirt this season.
Yeah, Reese is on the books. Yeah.
Just curious what you've seen from him in practice.
He's a good player.
Development.
He's a good player. He's a really good basketball player. There's some things that he does better than our other guys. He's a high IQ guy. He's got a great motor. He's got some physicality. He's probably the best guy on our team at finishing, with one shoulder to the rim. He's probably the best guy. He's right now he's had a chronic health issue that he's working really hard to recover from in long-term recovery, and he's doing a great job at that. I'm a big Reese Powder fan.
Mark, you talk about the counter argument to things that come across your desk. The team position is one that you talked about last week. Said there were some pros and cons.
Yeah.
Very positive things you've seen in the general landscape, but also some really negatives. Can you dig deeper into kind of the pros and cons of what you've seen from other schools that have that position?
Yeah, so it's I like it in terms of the manpower for sure. I like it in terms of the manpower. I like it in terms of the focus. I like it in terms of the 24/7, just being solely focused on that. One of the ways where I think it kind of can hurt is, you do, like, the purpose is to purchase one degree of separation. There's also some danger that comes with that in terms of, I think sometimes it can be less beneficial for student athlete. I think sometimes it can be a little bit problematic in terms of communication-wise. That's the whole purpose of it, right? And so that's the part that, if we go that direction, we'll have to be very clear and very focused on that, because at the end of the day, we have things that have to be done here. We have to win. We have to put together great rosters. We have to be, we have to do it in the most responsible way we can. And believe it or not, these student athletes still matter. Right? They still matter. Like, that's still the most important thing that's going on, and so honoring that's really, really important. We're and then it's really important finding the right person too. Like, the right person to do that is really important. Like I said, we've seen places around the country where it's been an epic disaster, and we've seen places where it's been functional. It's just one of those things where, when it lands right, we'll do it. But it's not something that we want to rush into because it can be really costly. There's the do no harm vibe. In the meantime, I'm really blessed. Like we have this incredible partnership with JMI that's enabled us to do so much, and they're doing incredible work for us. And the way Mitch has kind of worked this and led this is in a sense, I have a whole team of people that are working contracts, working possibilities. One of the complicated things right now is that there's not a clear interpretation of exactly what the rules are. It's a dynamic process every single day, and we'll make sure that we always err on the side of doing this legal, which is a guessing game because nobody knows exactly what's legal right now. So there's just a million different parts of this, but that's all in the conversation of, how we do the management part of this program, and it's something that we've spent an inordinate amount of time talking about. Actually had long discussions with tease you guys with a bunch of people that could at some point maybe in some way fill a position like that. Nothing formal, but just like exploring what it would look like and how it'd be, and it's somewhere we got to get. We're in such a good spot right now in the sense of, I'm telling you, and it's like this would probably be someone needs to do like a super in-depth, New Yorker magazine 30-page article on Mitch, but his leadership in this space has been incredible, and I get to see it firsthand where I have ADs from other major universities reaching out and trying to figure out how are you doing this, and like how did you move ahead this way, and this partnership with JMI Paul is incredible, and Kim, who we work with day to day, is incredible, and when we get to write the book, there's been a lot of late nights, tight deadlines, trying to get to winning spots, and so we have an incredible team in the dynamic times. Landing on exactly the right spot is ultimately that's my job to get the right spot. But the support that we're getting is ridiculous from Mitch and the administration from JMI.
Although,
Sarah's got one more.
Thanks. Thank you. Although Saturday's game is unranked, but it's a need win for both teams. Do you feel like that's going to add to the return of the rivalry on Saturday?
I don't know if we need any more juice to return to the rivalry, but it's for I think it's I don't think listen, the urgency and desperation of every game, no matter what game it is at Kentucky, is always the same. It's always a live or die scenario, and that's why it's great here. Thanks guys, have a great one.